So you talked about the potentially 12 folks who I would characterize as, just had a conversation with Jamie, as familiar faces who are coming into the court system that have charges brought against them for trespassing, for vandalism, and may also have some sort of mental health situation happening. And then I'm hearing you say, which is really helpful because I did not know that it is, then you refer someone to district court and then it's in their jurisdiction. I did not know that. That could have solved many heartache conversations, to be honest with you. So once that has been determined, what options are at the court's disposal, whether it's you or whether it's district court right now?
Oh, Jamie and I have tried to talk about this too. And right now, when somebody's found incompetent, my option, dismiss, release. That's it.
And what about district court?
What about
district court options? Like, do they have any more options?
The district court does have a mental health, what is it? What's AOT?
Assisted outpatient treatment, but it's not automatic.
Right, okay, assisted outpatient treatment. It's voluntary, right? Oh, it's civil, okay. So, yeah, they do have it's a treatment court basically for people with mental health challenges, behavioral health challenges. They don't currently accept misdemeanor defendants, which is all I have. So I don't have options, but we're trying to fill that gap.
Right.
Let me mention that New Mexico is with the majority of states that when somebody's found not competent, if it's a felony, if it's a violent felony especially, the district court will order the person to be what's called treated to competency. You try to get them competent enough to stand trial. If that doesn't happen, they can face that amount of time that the conviction would hold in the state hospital. But you also have to understand our state hospital in Las Vegas has a very limited number of beds. Of course, everybody in the state's trying to get those beds, and it makes sense that they're for violent felons. So nobody tries to treat people to competency for misdemeanors.
Okay.
And that's almost nationwide.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and so I also appreciate you talking about the Criminal Justice Coordinating Council. Did I get that right?
Yeah.
And some of the things you mentioned are first time I'm hearing of them, right? And I'm wondering what can you do to take back to that group? Because right now council is saying we want to work on options. We want to increase the options that are available for folks who are vulnerable, who keep, unfortunately, I mean, Chief can tell you how quickly property crime has increased, and I've said this before. It's not just about a broken window. It's not just about a cash register. It's about people's peace of mind, right? That is not something we can just magically make go away. And so this keeps happening. Many times I'm assuming some of the same folks, right? And so right now we have a council that's saying we really want to come up with some options.
Right.
At what point, I would like also like for you or for this continuum to come to us and say, these are some ideas that we have, because this is priority for us right now.
Sure. The SIMS task force, we're not just working, we're trying to come up with a solution for the entire county. And I think that is where the solution lies for filling the gaps, all the gaps, identifying them and trying to fill them. I wanted to sort of veer off for a second and correct a misconception. I know that Sarah Smith and Juan Garcia and many others are very concerned about the property crime at businesses, and so as am I, but when I get criminal damage to property charges, it is almost never a vandalism of a business. I can't remember the last time I saw one. When I get criminal damage to property citations, and it's rare, it's almost always ex-romantic partners one of them throws a brick at the other's windshield, or throws a brick or a rock through the window. That's what I see. I'm not getting these things where people do things
That's
on
interesting.
businesses.
Okay,
Yeah, I'm
and
not
so
get-
are you-
Now, they may be filed in magistrate court,
That's what I was
state
gonna
magistrate
ask
court.
you.
But I think it's really hard because what I primarily see are shoplifting and trespass, and it's easier for law enforcement to catch those people, right? They're generally witnesses who see them because they often trespass over and over again at the same place where they've gotten a trespass card. So it's much easier to catch those people and cite them. It's very hard to catch the people, I think, that are doing the vandalism to the businesses.
Sure.
You know, maybe
And so,
cameras
Judge,
will help.
So if those folks are caught, let's say, the officer determines where to file that case?
Yes, they can file it in city court or state court, correct.
And so they would go to magistrate court, is what you're saying?
Some of them may, but I'd be pretty surprised if they were getting a lot of criminal damage to business properties for the same reason. It's just much more difficult, I think, to cite people for that.
Okay.